Hey guys, my name is Thomas Crawford,
And I'm Kizzy Crawford.
and we're the Crawford Chronicles. Everyone has been asking about our trip to South Africa.
Yes, and so we definitely want to come and give you guys our view on it and let you know how we felt about the whole experience.
Now, before we get started, we would like for you guys to like, subscribe, and share our video.
Yes, so you can stay tuned for any further videos that we choose to put on. So we will be continually posting, and we're planning on going back to South Africa, but in the meantime, you will be seeing other videos.
Okay, awesome. Now, as far as the trip to South Africa, it was actually more than what we had anticipated. The flight was probably the hardest part of the trip. From Atlanta to Johannesburg was a 15-hour and 26-minute flight.
Well, the good thing is it was a straight flight. We didn't have a layover because if we would have laid over, it would have been even longer. So even though the flight was long, I do appreciate being able to have that straight flight without having any connecting coming out of Atlanta. So,
Yes,
because
yeah.
everybody can't go straight to Johannesburg from wherever.
Yeah, I guess it just depending on the days that you travel, everyone can't go straight to Johannesburg. But luckily for us, we had a straight flight to Johannesburg.
Another good thing about the flight was it was at night, so we didn't leave until about 9:50 on Monday night, and so we were able to sleep through the plane off and on. Of course, can't
Yeah.
sleep throughout the whole time, and then we made it there on Tuesday about 7 p.m. 7:20.
Yeah, almost 8 a.m. Now for you slept well.
Well, not 8 a.m. 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Almost
8 p.m. the following night. We left at 9 p.m. from Atlanta, and we arrived in Johannesburg around 8 p.m. 7:56 the following day, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening.
Yeah, I slept pretty good. I'm pretty good on flights. It don't really bother me a whole lot, and we were able to stretch out. But Thomas, it was not so easy for him to sleep.
Yeah. I never sleep well. I mean, I haven't been on a flight since my military days that I can actually sleep. I'm kind of OCD, so I like being awake. I like to make sure I'm aware of what's going on. But other than that, I think I slept about an hour, 2 hours out of 15 hours. But for me, it was a very confident flight. Surprisingly comforting, considering I had always told my wife that 5 hours is pretty much the tops for me. But to get to Africa, I don't care if it would have took 30 hours. I was willing to make that flight.
Yeah. So when we landed and got our luggage, we had our driver pick us up. So our travel agent had already set everything up for us. And so finding transportation was not an issue. Someone was there waiting on us. And our travel agent is Kevin Saunders, and his company is
For Your Trips, Travels, and Tours.
Yes.
That's for the number 4, trips, travels, and tours. You can actually get with Kevin. I was surprised everything went smooth. Once we arrived in Johannesburg, we had our driver right there with the Crawfords poster. So we were ready. So
yeah, that was good. So that usually we do our own transportation, we do our own flights and everything. And so once we get there, then we're trying to find the lay of the land and order someone to come pick us up. So to have that already taken care of was really good.
yeah,
So as we were driving, we did get stopped,
we did get stopped.
which is kind of scary.
Little did we know at that time they had taxi strikes that was getting ready to be implemented. And we wasn't aware of it. And so once
Or if it wasn't already implemented, actually, it was already going on. We just didn't really realize it.
no one told us. So no one told us until we actually got into the our ride with our driver. And after we were stopped, thankfully the police officers, they just probably wanted to pretty much see her certificates, her insurance.
Yeah.
That lasted 5 to 10 minutes. After that, we were on our way to the hotel.
Right, and everything else went smoothly. She was awesome. We enjoyed our transportation. She gave us a lot of information up front, and so it was a good ride there.
Yes, it was.
And then we went to our hotel, and it was really nice.
Yes, it was. The sunset at Santon.
Yes. And we stayed in the towers. So we didn't
Yeah.
stay in Santon Sun. We stayed in Santon Towers.
Santon Towers, which is actually attached
Right.
to the Santon Mall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is good for us because we like to shop, we like to eat.
Yeah.
They had 2 restaurants and a bar in the hotel, and outside of the hotel, it was a short walking distance from the elevator, and we was actually in the Santon Mall.
Right. And everyone, again, was so nice. And once we start talking and they hear our accent, they were just so welcoming to us. And so that was really awesome to see. And just to be in South Africa, I mean.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
The feeling was just amazing for us. We've been saying we wanted to go for years and years, and we finally pulled the trigger. And we're excited that we did.
Yeah, it was actually a wonderful trip. You know, the funny thing about day one was we woke up, and my whole thing about being in Africa was I always heard about how good the coffee was in Africa. So I was on my wife telling her, like, before we do anything, we're gonna find us a coffee shop.
He was adamant, guys. He's like, I won't do nothing else until I get some
Nothing else. We took a shower, we cleaned up. We're ready. We hit the streets and we're just walking and we just feel good about ourselves. And we walked 3 blocks. 3 blocks. And so when we finally actually got to our coffee shop, I mean, the coffee was great.
It was good.
The food was great. And we just looked around and we like, you know what? My wife said, tell her what you say.
This is attached to the mall.
It's attached to the mall.
The mall is attached to our hotel. But we done walked all around to get to it because we didn't know that we could go straight through the mall.
Yeah, I mean, we in Africa, man, we walking.
But it was nice to be out, though.
It was very nice to be out. You know what? The feeling was very vibrant. The people were so nice. And it just felt like being in Atlanta. I mean, I've been living in Atlanta now for 28 years. And so it pretty much felt like being in downtown Atlanta. But it just, it was better because we knew we were in Africa and we were on a mission to get our first coffee in Africa.
Right. I mean, we really wanted to get that experience of being out and on the streets. And to us, though, truthfully, Johannesburg to us felt like Atlanta.
It did.
It really did, because it was so much of our people there, which is a lot of downtown Atlanta. And it's a city. It's just a big city.
Big metropolis.
Yeah, so we felt very at home there, even though we don't be in Atlanta, the city that much, but we know the area. We go down there and do things, and so that's what it felt like.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, everything was great. We enjoyed our breakfast. Once we realized we was attached to the our hotel,
right,
we even felt more relaxed. And I think we did some shopping, and we went back to our room. The first day in was actually our anniversary.
It was actually our anniversary day. So after we did some shopping, we actually went and had a mani-pedi.
Mani-pedi, yeah.
He was in heaven. So if you guys haven't seen that video of him, how he was smiling from ear to ear because he has a lady on his hands and a lady on his feet, he was in heaven.
Never been with 2 women before, so it's my first time.
First time getting a mani-pedi with 2 women.
It took me to go to Africa to be with 2 women at the same time.
He was enjoying that, and while he was getting that done, I had a massage done, which was really nice.
Yeah, it was.
So then we went to dinner. We went back to the room, got dressed because our travel agent had scheduled us for a dinner at Saint's Restaurant.
Saint's Restaurant, which was actually 3 blocks away.
Yeah, not far at all. We got in the Uber, they took us there, and the vibe was so nice.
Now, before we get to Saint's Restaurants, I want to actually put emphasis on the fact that I read a lot of comments before we left. I did a lot of research, and the biggest thing was it's going to be hard getting a Uber ride for short rides. Most of the Uber rides would pretty much like turn you down for the short rides because they prefer to have like, you know, the 30, 45-minute rides. Now, Saint's Restaurant was actually probably 5 minutes from our hotel, but Kizzy and I, we always do Uber Black. I mean, for years we've been riding Uber Black. It's just a personal preference for us because I'm 6'3". I like, you know, the bigger SUVs. I like more of a luxury service. And surprisingly, on Uber Black, the rides were, it was very accessible. Once we put in our destination, within 5 minutes, we had someone telling us, hey, listen, your ride is on their way. And I was shocked because I was thinking it was gonna be, you put in for your destination and it's gonna be one of those things where you're just waiting for, you know, minutes at a time, waiting for a driver. But it was a very convenient service for us. I don't know about Uber Comfort or regular Uber, but for us, Uber was actually perfect.
Right. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. So we went, had dinner. Everyone there was really nice. The food was great. And that was how we actually enjoyed our anniversary day, is just kind of relaxing, getting massages and pedicures and manicures, and then going out to dinner. So that was our first night, and we had a great time.
Yeah, Saint's Restaurant was like the perfect atmosphere for our 14-year anniversary. The ambiance was great. The service was first class, and the food was absolutely to die for.
And we had live music, wasn't it? It was live music.
They had live music. Yeah,
really nice. And we love listening to live music, so that was really good.
Yeah. For some reason, we missed our.
What's the fun? For some reason.
We missed it. Why did we miss it? We were 30 minutes late for our reservation.
Because you were at the mall.
I was at the mall.
You really forget why we were late for our reservation?
Once I realized we were attached to the mall, like every 5 minutes, it's like, hey, I'm going to the mall.
I'm texting him like, where you at? We gotta get ready.
Yeah, I got to find my hats. I got to find my watches. I got to find.
You trying to find jewelry?
I'm shopping.
And I'm thinking he's trying to buy me something. And he said he's at the jeweler. No, he's buying him something, but whatever. So he made us 30 minutes late.
I did. I made up 30 minutes late, but I made up for it with the restaurant. The restaurant was just a great restaurant. One of my best restaurants I've ever been to. And
because we were late, we kind of got to stand at the bar for a minute, have a cocktail before, and that wasn't too long at all. And it was a good vibe because the live music was on that side.
Very
so
good
we was able to kind of sit at the bar. So it really worked out that we were 30 minutes late, but we don't want that to be the habit.
She's a daiquiri.
No, margarita.
She's a margarita chick.
Yes.
So the bartender's like, they mixed up the perfect margarita.
Yeah.
What's my favorite drink? Old fashioned.
Old fashioned.
So yeah, old fashions. Once I realized he could make good old fashions, I really don't want to leave the bar.
Yeah, it was really nice. So that was the first day. Next day, we got to cheat. No, you know what? Actually, okay. So that's when our tour started. So we did our safari.
We did the safari.
That day.
That was on day 3.
We did the safari first, and then we did Soweto tour.
Yeah, we did the safari. So let's tell them about the safari tour that we took up in Gatlinburg. I could be mispronouncing it.
It was at the
Johannesburg. That's
National Park.
National Park.
Yes. So it was like 2.5 hours away. So they picked us up that morning, probably about 6.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm thinking we're going to be sleeping in. So at 12 o'clock at night, she's telling me, hey, listen.
He slept in the night before.
At 12 o'clock at night, she's telling me, like, hey, listen, you need to be up. We got an appointment tomorrow at 6:30. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I gave him at least a day, but I definitely, the safari, I mean, that's the only time that they had to do it. And I definitely wanted to, I couldn't come to Africa and not experience a safari. So 2.5 hour drive. It was good to kind of get away and see the area as we were driving, and just to see the different townships that we were seeing was just.
It was for me. It was just breathtaking, and it was heartbreaking, breathtaking, and amazing at the same time.
Right.
Because for us, you have people here in the United States who are pretty much feeling like they don't have all the essentials of what they need. And we're driving out to the safari, and people are actually living in huts. So that was an awakening for us.
Right, and knowing that, they had outhouses and that they were very tiny places, no electricity in some of them. So, or seeing the like the kitchens on the side of the road,
Yeah.
and so we've seen that in other countries when we've been. I don't know why it just seemed like it hit a little different when we were in South Africa.
It was humbling. It was very humbling for us. So
I've told people several times I cried a lot on this trip several times, and I'm not a crier. You can ask my husband.
Never cried.
I don't cry. My son thinks that I have like no heart sometimes because I don't cry. But I cried on this trip. I guess just the overwhelming feel of being there and then hearing the stories that we were not aware of prior to going. So
yeah.
So we saw this going there, and then we got to the national park.
Around 15 minutes to 9. We left the hotel at 6:30. We got there almost a quarter till 10 minutes to 9.
Okay, you can keep calling out times and stuff if you want to, but
I'm military. I'm gonna my life is time.
Yeah,
everything is about time for me.
So you won't get all these times from me. I'm gonna give you estimated times. Yeah. But we did get there, got set up, got in the van. It was like 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It was actually like
5 or 6 people with us.
It was 8 of us.
Okay.
8 of us in a just picture a Jeep. It's an open Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, open Jeep.
It had, including the driver, it had 4 rows. So we were on the first row.
3 rows.
It had 3 rows, but then the driver it made 4 rows.
Gotcha.
So me, I'm always thinking ahead. I'm thinking I need to be in the back. I need to be in the back because listen, if something attack this Jeep, we're last.
Well, see, I think you should be in the middle because you got people in the front, you got people in the back, you got people on the side. But he decides to get in, and I guess because I was going slow.
You were talking.
I was talking.
You were talking, and you were asking questions, and people were, while you were asking questions, people were getting on the Jeep, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay.
I don't know why he just didn't go get on the Jeep and save me a seat. I don't know why. Since you didn't tell me this was a thing, but you should have just went and got on there and waited for me.
It's my fault because I think we should have had a plan.
We should have had a plan.
We didn't have a plan. But everyone else had a plan. Because while she was asking questions, being Kizzy, asking questions, people are getting on the Jeep. They're in the back. Okay, the back row is covered. All right, Kizzy. She's still asking questions. The second row is covered.
Yeah,
now it's like,
all he had to do was just go get in the van. I was like, hey, Kizzy, I'm going to get in the van. But anyway, so we got on, and he sat on the end. Again, because he's the man, he feel like he would have been on the end, but I think he would have preferred to be in the middle.
No, it's just a natural instinct. It's a natural instinct for men. We have to be on the end because we're protectors. So we want to make sure that we're like the first line of defense.
That's true. But I am a little more go with the flow. Things don't bother me as much. And so during some of the interactions with the animals, I'm like, yay, look at that. And he's looking like, how close they trying to come.
How close they trying? Listen, I think she kind of jumped the gun. Let me guys paint the picture for you.
Okay.
Now, you guys watch the safari channels, right? You guys see it on YouTube. Y'all see it on Instagram or whatever. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to look at animals, but we're going to look at the animals from like a...
What does that mean? What is it?
We're going to watch the animals for 50 yards away at the closest 25 yards away.
Okay.
So we're in the Jeep. This guy, he gives us a debriefing of what to expect. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm ready to sit back and chill and just enjoy this safari excursion.
You had the wrong impression, guys. The guy told us a safari is an adventure. So that means you may not see all the animals. You don't know what we're going to see. We got the big 5 that we're looking for. But so when we hear of one of the big 5, someone may tell us on the radio, hey, the big 5, we have a lion over here. Hey, we got a giraffe.
I missed that one. I missed that. I didn't hear that.
That's what he said. He said, if we hear that, then all the vans are going to go towards that animal because you may miss it. It's only 2 to 3 minutes of time that you may be able to see it. So that means I may go a little fast to get there. Are you guys okay with that? We all said yes. Obviously, he was asleep because he missed that part. So what happened?
And it's like 12 degrees Celsius,
Yes.
so which is around 35, 40 degrees for us Fahrenheit. And time he gave us a debriefing, I mean, he took off and he was like, you don't mind if I go 60 miles per hour. If anybody have a problem, let me know. And I'm a man, so I'm not gonna tell this guy you going too fast. But in my head, I'm thinking, we're gonna be out here 6 hours. We're gonna be out here 6 hours and we're already taking off at 9 o'clock, going 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, so it was cold. The wind blowing was really cold. We had a blanket, but I'm like, hey, baby, get some of the blanket. But after we started going fast, he's like, hey, don't worry about no blanket. I'm just worried about us getting where we going.
Blankets don't help. And if you see our video of us being out in safari, you see me like this right here. That's where I was because in my mind, I'm thinking it's 9 o'clock. Where is 3 o'clock?
So we had a nice morning. It was cool, but we saw a lot of animals during the day. But then we went to eat lunch. And I thought, truthfully, that my husband was going to say, just leave me here. Because he was over.
I was over it. Listen, it started at 9. He said it was 5 animals for us to see. By 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we seen all the animals.
No, it's something we just didn't see all together.
We seen the elephants. We saw the lions. We saw the zebras. We saw the giraffes.
Yes.
And what's the other 5?
The leopard.
The buffalo.
We saw the hippo. Well, that wasn't even part of the 5,
yeah.
But we did see it. But the leopard and the cats. We didn't get to see the other 2 cats.
I counted 5.
We saw 5 animals, but it wasn't a big 5.
So listen, we started at 9 o'clock. By 11, we already seen 5 animals. Like, we can wrap this up. We beat the system. We can go. We can load up. We can go back to the hotel. It's over.
But he didn't. He did go on there for the rest of the day, and we saw more animals. I actually wondered, though, if we would have went in the summertime, how hot it would have been. Because I'm sure the sun beaming down. So I don't know if it was better to go in the time that we went. Because we actually stopped a lot of times and waited for the animals to pass through.
We ate it. Yeah, we waited.
So that sun beaming down in the summertime would have been a little...
It would have. You know, the thing is, the guys, what I didn't anticipate, we didn't anticipate the guys actually speak with each other over the walkie-talkies. Mm-hmm. So they are sharing information throughout the whole tour. And I wasn't expecting us to be like taking off like 60 miles per hour going from location to location. And I also didn't expect to drive up and be so close and personal with those animals. I mean, we were, I was telling the tour guide, I see it. Like, I see it. Okay.
I was loving it because he knows where the elephants go because they go the same route every time. So he would go sit right in front of them when we see that they're over there, and they'll walk right past us, like inches away. I'm loving life.
And the crazy part about it is when these animals are walking in a path, they're not going to change their path just because you over there. Like, if they start walking at 45 degrees, they're going to continue that 45 degrees, and the tour guide lines itself up at 44 degrees. So when these elephants and all these different animals coming by, they're actually almost grazing the vehicle. Yeah. And the crazy thing about it was he always parked it on my side. And I had a problem with that. I had a problem. Because I'm like the first, like, listen, if that animal goes animal, if that animal decides to be an animal,
I know.
He get me.
I know.
And we're in Africa. Like, I don't even know where the nearest hospital is.
Right.
I don't know how my insurance will work over here.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was a long day. We were very tired when we got there. So I don't even think we went and ate. We just ordered room service and went back to the room.
Well, we had a good lunch out there. The lunch wasn't included, and for your trips, travels, and tours, actually booked it. So lunch was included, and after that lunch, we were full. We ate lunch around at 1 o'clock, 1:15. And when we got back on the path, I think it was almost 1:30, 1:45.
Something like that. Cause we still had like an hour and 45 minutes. So yeah, and we ended at 3, and then it was another 2 hours to get home. So we got back to the place about 5:30.
Yeah.
So that was day 2 in Johannesburg, and then on day 3 is where we went on our tour.
To Soweto.
We went to Soweto, but it also took us around Johannesburg. We were able to go to Nelson Mandela's. He took us through that way. I don't think that was planned, but he took us there and let us see the houses in Johannesburg and just how the high walls around the homes and how they had the barbed wire.
The barbed wire, yeah.
And so
that was in the more exclusive area.
When I told him that I was a real estate agent and we are real estate agent investors. He's an investor with me, so I'm an agent. We're investors, and so once we mentioned that, he swears I should never say that because every time I say that, it's a conversation about real estate.
Anytime you tell people you're in real estate, for some reason, the whole conversation is like it consists of real estate. And for somebody that out of 365 days a year, I hear real estate. We talk about real estate all the time.
But it was good to be able to see real estate there and see the prices of real estate and how real estate compares to America.
Yes.
So that was eye-opening for us to see the houses there that look like almost 1.2 million, $2 million homes in the States.
Worth 80,000.
Well, no, those are like 300,000.
Yeah.
So some of those are like 300,000, and that he was saying like a lot of people buy those houses, knock them completely down, and build them back up the way they want to.
They're actually buying a lot.
Yeah, so that was, and those houses are nice houses, but they're still. So it was nice to be able to see that part of Johannesburg, and then see the house that Nelson Mandela lived in before he died. And so that was really nice to see.
Yeah, it was. It was. That tour by itself. You know, the funny thing about these different excursions and tours is you go to one and you don't think it can get better, and the next one tops it. And going to see Nelson Mandela's house in which he lived, and going to Soweto and actually seeing the history and just seeing the formation of how South Africa, a part of the apartheid, how it's developed in the way of thinking. It's something that you cannot get here in America. You actually have to go there and get with a local person who is knowledgeable of the history.
Right.
So we were blessed to actually experience that.
And our tour guide was really young. He was only 30-something years old, but listening to him speak, I would have thought that he was 80-some years old. The experiences that he's dealing with, that he's telling us about, we're hearing these type of stories from our grandparents, but they're dealing with this kind of stuff in his lifetime, and or in his parents' lifetime, and so it was really, really interesting to hear. And so during his tour is where I cried a lot listening to him speak and tell us, and realize that their history is very similar to ours. It's just a lot later. Like they were dealing with segregation in the 90s, and we dealt with this years and years before we were even born.
No, they've been dealing with segregation all the way back from, the 17 and 1800s.
But they started integrating in the 90s. They started
integrating, it just was later.
Yeah, that's the thing. They were integrating their kids in 1994.
1994.
And we were having this in back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And so to see that was still during our lifetime. It was in our parents' lifetime before, but now it's in our lifetime that Africa is dealing with that. And so that was something new to me. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It's just seeing their houses there too.
Yeah. So I don't want to give too much away, but that trip to Soweto, I recommend everyone. And Soweto is actually short terminology for southwestern township. So they pretty much kind of like showing it up and made it Soweto. I recommend to anyone, if you're going to South Africa, to actually take that tour and actually get a chance to go visit Soweto, and you would be amazed. I'm not going to give you guys all the details.
Right.
Really, the trip was just like great. The trip was great to Soweto, but actually the trip back to the hotel when it was just my wife and I and the tour guide. I can't remember his name, but he was a great, he was a very knowledgeable young man at 33 years old.
But you can also find him on other tours that we posted his video and tagged him. So please go look at that video and go in and subscribe to his channel and see his tours. And so if you ever go to South Africa, or for all of our South African friends that's on our live YouTube, go take the tour, even though you know the history. It was really cool though. It was really cool.
It was really cool. And I mean, the trip back to the hotel after everyone was dropped off at their hotel, we were the last two on the van, and we actually had more of an intimate discussion with him. And some of the things that he told me were just like mind blowing. So I recommend that all of you guys go look for this guy, look for this young man. You would be amazed and you would be fascinated.
And I think, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's TASALANG Tours. Tassalang.
We'll post it in this video, so you'll get a chance to look him up.
Yeah, but we definitely already did a video and tagged him on it, so definitely go look at the tour and see a little bit about what we learned. And then if you're ever there, definitely book him. He's a entrepreneur building his business, and it's a great tour to take. So on to, now we're going to Cape Town.
Now we're headed to Cape Town. Day 4, we left Johannesburg and headed to Cape Town.
Yeah.
And my wife, you know, Kizzy and myself, we going to Cape Town. I don't know what to expect. I'm just hearing Cape Town, like you need to go to Cape Town. Everybody in Johannesburg is telling me, have you guys visited Cape Town?
It's like if you go to South Africa, you got to go to Johannesburg, you got to go to Cape Town. They just go hand in hand.
You got to go to Cape Town. So I thank my lovely wife for booking this trip, and also included Cape Town. We spent 4 days in Johannesburg, and we spent the remaining 4 in Cape Town.
Yes. So we left Johannesburg that morning around about 9:30, and we ended up getting to Johannesburg with flight and airport, all that, about 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we, of course, chilled that night. And there we stayed at the Bliss Boutique.
The Bliss Boutique in Cape Town.
Yes. And that was a very, very different from Johannesburg.
It's more of a bread. It's more of a bed and breakfast.
Bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like to say bread.
I like to say bread because I'm thinking, I'm thinking where I break bread.
No, you keep saying bread.
I understand, but
bed and breakfast. First time we've ever really did like a bed and breakfast.
First ever.
So that was kind of cool. It was a little ways away from everything else though. That's one thing that was different.
You need Uber for everything.
Yeah, we need Uber because we're in like a community of houses.
Yeah.
But we were on the beach.
On the beach.
And that was one of the things that we asked for, to be on the beach. And so we were on the beach. The staff was great. They
oh my Lord, the staff was
welcomed us, and it was the same staff pretty much the whole time we were there. So the same cooks, the same waiters, everything.
Yes, and so I learned about turn down. I had no idea what turn down was.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
We have turn down all the time, but they don't never say the words to us. They just do it.
All I know is turn down for what?
Oh my God.
Turn down for what? That's what I know. Like, turn down for what?
Can't take him anywhere.
So we're out. It's our first night. We're having dinner. And dinner was amazing. I had the oxtails and rice. So when we're looking at the menu, I'm strolling down. I'm thinking it's going to be like all of these different items that I'm unaware of. But surprisingly, a lot of these items we've already ate before. Right. Plantains, oxtails and rice. They had swordfish. What do you eat? kids eat?
I had oxtails and rice that night.
You had
but they
oxtails
also
and
had
rice.
salmon on there,
salmon,
so stuff like that.
Salmon croquettes.
Yeah.
And it was more. It's more.
So you got to go back to the turn down.
I am. Just let me get to the turn down.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to paint the picture.
Okay, go ahead.
It's more of an intimate setting, right? It's like, just imagine this little boutique hotel. It's got like around 8 tables in there. You have the bartender.
And they ask us when we want to eat.
They ask us
what time you going to come in.
What time and what we would like to eat. And then we actually have the cooks, which they actually had 2 cooks. So we're like, listen, this is our first night in Cape Town. I'm excited because I see they got oxtails and rice, they got plantains. I'm excited. So I'm focusing on these oxtails and rice. So, and they got old fashions. That's the thing, they got them good old fashions in there. So a guy walks up to us and say, would you like for us to turn down?
Samuel.
That's his name, Samuel. He says, would you like for us to turn down your room? And when you say that, I'm thinking, oh, what you gonna do, like lock us out? I'm sorry. But that's the first thing that came to, so I'm like, what do you mean turn down? He said, set your room up for them.
No, he didn't say that. I said yes. Yes, we want to.
So you knew what?
I knew exactly what it meant.
How do you know what turn down meant?
Because they do it all the time.
Where?
In the regular hotel.
They say turn down.
They don't tell you turn down. They just do it in between while you're out at night.
So you knew what turn down mean when he said, "I'm gonna turn down your."
Do you mind if I turn down your room? Okay, so I'll give you that. I didn't know when he first said it, but after he said something else, I knew exactly what he was
When he
talking about.
said turn down your room, I'm thinking he's gonna kick us out. That's my first. I'm like, kick us. Oh. He said, no, I mean, set up your bed for your nightcap and set up your. I'm like, oh, okay. That's how they do it in the Bliss Boutique.
I promise y'all, they did it at the old hotel too. He just didn't notice it.
Yeah, but they never called it turn down.
And they didn't come and ask.
They just do it.
Did it.
They just, in America, when you go somewhere, or a lot of these different countries we go to, like, Puerto Rico, Mexico, they just go in your room unbeknownst to you, and they just do what they got to do. But he came and asked us, would you like for us to turn down your room?
And he asked us because we were still in the restaurant.
Still in the restaurant.
If we were like maybe had left, then he probably would have did it.
Yeah.
But because we were there, he's like, while you're eating dinner, do you mind if I turn down your room? So that was new for him.
It was new for me. So now I know what turn down means when I go to Africa. Because trust me, nobody else come up to us and ask us, would I like to turn down your room?
Right. So that was the first night. We didn't do anything but eat dinner at the hotel. The hotel again was really nice.
We hung out on the balcony. If you go to our videos, you'll see the balcony. It was to die for. We had it wasn't
panoramic.
It wasn't panoramic, but you had 2 different views of the beach. And so just in the houses in that area were just absolutely beautiful. The scenery was just awesome. So I'm the type of guy, I'm a scenery guy. Once I see a good scenery, I don't even have to move. I just smoke me a good cigar and I just soak it all in.
And this is Saturday.
That's Saturday. Yeah.
So then on Sunday, we went to Waterfront.
We went to the Waterfront
and did
for
a boat ride. Yeah. And that was breathtaking. Breathtaking to see the mountains, on the water. I mean, it was just beautiful.
Yes, it was. I mean, the trip, the tour itself was, they said, 45-minute tour?
It was an hour on the boat, and then we had a voucher to go get dinner at the actual mall, a shopping center. So we then went there, which was different. That was an experience for me. So this was my first time eating wild game. Is it game?
Wild game,
okay.
Yes.
So that was my first time getting wild game because I wanted to try something different. We've been eating fish and oxtails, things that we could eat here. So I did a video of my plate. It had zebra. It had, oh my God, what else did it have?
It had a lot of these different.
What is it, Badcock, a spring?
It had like 5 different animals on her plate.
Oh my God, it did. And I can't remember what it was. Yeah. I know we had like alligator on there. Yeah. Alligator was one of them.
Zebra, alligator, I think it had buffalo on there. I know I had 5 different animals on there, so I can't think
I should have
of
looked at the video. I should have looked at the menu.
It wasn't chicken.
Because it was on the menu. It was
it.
none of that.
It wasn't
It was
chicken. It
all
wasn't
wild
a cow.
game.
So if you want to just like weed them out, it wasn't chicken.
It
wasn't cow.
It was that animal that we
Zebra,
saw.
alligator.
We was the animal.
Buffalo.
Stop it.
Antelope.
Okay, stop it. Stop it.
Antelope.
Stop it. No. But it was on there. It was good though. But because at the end of the day, everything tastes like steak to a certain degree or some kind of meat.
What was
like
the name
beef.
of that restaurant we went to? Do you remember?
I don't
You don't
remember the
remember?
name. I don't remember the name.
If we can think of the name, we'll put it on the link.
Yeah, but it was nice. I didn't eat all of it. I'm not a big meat person, but I did want to at least try different meats. But the zebra was the best, I think, of all of it. I wasn't a fan of the octopus, but the zebra was the better one.
Yeah.
I feel bad even saying that.
It was
about
well
the zebra,
cooked.
'cause they were so
It was
nice
well
looking.
cooked. All of it.
Yeah, it was well cooked. What did you get? You got a burger. Yeah, you stay simple.
Listen, I got to get a burger a week, so I was due for my burger. I sacrificed myself, and it was time. It was just time for me to eat my burger. So I had a burger. I kept it kind of like what I was used to. I got a burger, and I think I had some potato skins to go with that. So
yeah,
that was great. But for me, what was the name of the area again?
it was the Waterfront.
The Waterfront in Cape Town. So for me, the bigger thing, it wasn't the food. I mean, we had a great time on the boat ride, but the bigger thing for me is just the ambiance and the atmosphere. They had different groups of individuals like doing old African line dances and
Yes, that was so awesome.
people singing, and they had a lot of vendors out there. Like we had like all the different type of ice creams and different type
hot
of
dogs and popcorn.
anything you could imagine, and everybody was just so friendly, and the atmosphere was just it was amazing, the atmosphere.
And of course, he can walk around and smoke his cigars. So he was in heaven doing that. And so
in the Cape Town Mall, they had some of the best cigars I've ever experienced.
Oh yeah, you did get some.
They are a little pricey, which we planning on going back in a few months. But I make sure I bring my own cigars this time because they're a little pricey out there.
Yeah,
but it was worth it.
Yeah. So Waterfront, we left there and we went back to the hotel, and that was a pretty chill day for the rest of the day. The next day, it was a chill day. We didn't do anything.
The next day, we actually went down to the beach. So we actually did a video of us hanging out at the boutique hotel and going out to the beach. The beach was absolutely, it was just the scenery for me was, I'm a scenery guy, so I just get caught up in different views and sceneries. So I actually enjoyed myself thoroughly.
And I think too, it was a little emotional for you.
It was.
Because of his trip that he didn't get to touch land before. And we won't go through that whole story, but it's on another one of our videos.
Check out our video. Check out our video about my experience. The first one I had in visiting Africa, which we visited, but we didn't visit.
Right.
I mean, we anchored out in 1995, and we all knew we were going to be visiting Mombasa, Africa at that time, and it didn't happen. So full circle, 28, really almost 30 years later, having the chance to go out there and experience it with my wife, it was like the best, for me, it was the best revenge ever. It was revenge, and it was also humbling at the same time.
Yeah, so that was really nice. Our next day, we had a tour scheduled. We were all set, we were dressed and ready to go at 10 o'clock. And let me take that back. We did go out that night. We went to a restaurant, remember? We were trying to go to the restaurant that was so packed. Gold.
Yeah.
We were trying to go to Gold. So now we know.
Everybody talking about Gold.
Everybody talking about Gold.
And we going out tonight. Are you going to go? Are you going to go?
Oh, you need to go to Gold. That's what they said.
Yeah.
You need to go to Gold. But they didn't tell us that you got to book this in advance.
Exactly.
So now we know when we go back to Cape Town, we would definitely book it before we even leave town. Yes. So Gold was packed, it was booked, and we couldn't get in. They put us on a waiting list, but we didn't get in. So we chose another restaurant. It was Marco's something. I can't give the whole name of it. But it was a Marco's restaurant. And
We'll put the tag in the link.
And it was supposed to have live music. But unfortunately, due to the strike,
Taxi strike,
it kind of hindered our trip a little bit. Because actually we was tempted not to even go out. We wanted to kind of stay close because we didn't want, because some of the Uber drivers were being attacked because the taxi drivers was mad that they were still driving. So taxi drivers kind of stopped driving. I mean, Uber drivers weren't driving as much. And only the Uber Black maybe was really kind of doing it because everybody didn't know that they're...
Uber Black was actually thriving at that point because from what our driver told us, he said that they're more in luxury vehicles, so they don't really have to be as concerned as people in the regular vehicles, which we didn't know. We just going by his word. He drove a BMW. Every Uber driver that picked us up
was in BMW.
Was in the BMW. But in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't really care about all that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're still in the back seat of a car. No one's else in the front, so they can still kind of look like you're driving somewhere. But we did take the chance and go out that night.
Yeah,
and he took us out, and we made it there safely. They didn't have the live music. We didn't get to enjoy that, but the food was great. The waitress was awesome.
Customer service is like first class customer service.
Yeah. And it was that real old African feel inside of it with some of the antiques on the wall.
Yeah, it was eclectic. It was very eclectic. I actually thought like Rerun was gonna come walking out.
Yeah, it was real old.
I'm like JJ finna Rerun. Like somebody from 70 something, somebody at Lamont, somebody finna come from the old school days and come out, because it was just like, for us, the atmosphere, the environment, the decor was actually still like, it was preserved. It was preserved, and it wasn't like this modern stuff you see. It was a very preserved look.
Right. And if you guys are still listening after this, y'all are the real VIPs. So please make sure you go subscribe and like this video.
Yeah, please.
Because we're like, I don't know, about 50 minutes in, I think, with the other one. We're about 50 minutes in. So that was that day. And the next day, because our tour got canceled. Due to the strike, we decided to stay in all day. So we didn't go out. We stayed at the hotel because we kind of wanted to just make sure that we got back to the airport safely. So we're like, we just take our chances to go back to the airport when it's time to go. We won't just kind of go and
we've been winning. We've been winning for like 9 days.
Right.
We've been winning.
Right.
Let's not chance it. They're saying that it's an official strike right now. Yeah. We know about people that are actually getting hurt.
Yeah, getting hurt.
So once I hear hurt, I'm thinking, okay, as a protector, I don't want my wife or myself to be in a situation we can't control. Unnecessarily. So let's just sit back at this boutique and let's just enjoy ourselves here, because we've been like on the schedule from the time we got in Johannesburg until Cape Town. So it was actually bittersweet. We hated that it was a strike going on.
Oh, we was going to Robert Island, and that was really big. I wanted to go there, and we was going to Table Mountain to do the cable car.
The cable cart.
Yeah, so we was really looking forward to that. But under the circumstances, we're okay with not going, and definitely we'll be back to go again when we're able to go back.
Most definitely.
And go do that tour. So that was pretty much...
That was pretty much it.
And then we went to the airport the next day. We had to fly out of Cape Town back to Johannesburg.
And then from Johannesburg back to Atlanta.
So it was a long day.
You're talking about 18, with the layover, we had a 5-hour layover in Johannesburg. We flew out of Cape Town to Johannesburg. We arrived from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Our flight out of Johannesburg was at 7:45 p.m. So we had almost a 6 hour.
No, actually 9:20.
Yeah.
We couldn't check. 9:20. But we couldn't
check in. We couldn't check our baggage in until 5 o'clock.
Right. Couldn't check in till 5 o'clock, so we couldn't even go to the lounge and relax. And we was kind of sitting at a restaurant inside of the airport before check-in. So we had pizza. No, we didn't have. We went to a pizza place.
Yeah, pizza place where we could actually bring our bags, and it was safe, and we felt comfortable. And it was a lot of other people that was traveling back on Delta, because Delta only has one terminal out of Johannesburg, right?
So I feel like only one flight
1 p.m. terminal out of one flight out of Johannesburg for Delta. So it was.
So it only opened up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
5 p.m.
Yeah. So we couldn't even get in line. We got in line at 4:30 so that we can kind of be in the front of the line, which was really good because the line got really long.
Yeah.
So we got in line at 4:30, and then we got through, and then we went to the Virgin Lounge, which was great. I mean, we always do Delta lounges because.
Is it Virgin?
Is it Virgin Atlantic or
Virgin Atlantis Lounge
Clubhouse, or
is it Atlantis Virgin? It's Virgin Atlantis Lounge.
Virgin.
Yeah.
I know Virgin Lounge.
It's Virgin Atlantis Lounge or either Atlantis Virgin Lounge, but it's got Virgin in there. And if you do the Google, it's only one gonna come up.
I did a video on that one too, though.
Yeah.
Because the lady who was there was so nice, and I had to take her video of her trying to tell my husband, like I was trying to tell him.
It was Women's Day.
It was Women's Day, and that women rule the world. So they're our protectors. We love them. We appreciate them. They're our kings. But we're the ones who keep things together. So she agreed with me, and I loved her for that. So we had a great time sitting around and trying to kind of calm ourselves, get a couple drinks to get ready for that long flight. Because we wanted to sleep on that flight.
The whole flight.
Because we were already tired from sitting in the airport all day. We wanted to really be able to sleep on that plane. And I did. I slept a lot.
You slept a lot.
I did.
You slept really like.
Almost every
70-80% of the flight.
Yeah, I slept a long time.
I think I slept 30% of the flight, which for me, I'm good. I can be awake, and I don't really need a lot of sleep. I can just be awake and have, my own intellect going on. So I'm fine with that.
Okay. So a little housekeeping things that I told my husband I need to make sure. I took a little converter with me. Even though we were able to plug up at least one thing that it was made for our plugs, but they don't have a whole lot of plugs that fit our items, like our cell phone chargers and whatever. So I took a little converter that had different outlets in it so that we can plug in all of our things.
So take at least one converter with you.
At least one converter. You get it off of Amazon for about $18, and it's definitely come in handy because they don't have a whole lot of plugs in the hotels.
And another thing is, it's two things for me. I know that people will say, oh, it's different languages in Johannesburg or South Africa. Some people tell you it's 11 languages. Some people tell you it's 9. Listen, I just know English. That's pretty much all I know. You won't have any issues with communication with people in Africa because most of the people that you encounter, they all speak English. And also, too, is the American dollar to the rand, which is the currency that South Africa uses. The rand, you can get 17, at our time it was 17.8 rand to every $1 US. So it goes a long way.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we were able to eat at several different restaurants, and for us in the United States, that meal would have probably cost us almost $200.
Oh, yeah.
In the rand, it cost us $38, $42. So the US dollar goes a long way as far as with currency in African dollars. And go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. You done?
And also, too, as far as tipping, we were recommended 50 rand was like pretty much the common. But for me, I always tip. Even in the United States, I always tip more than what's required. So in that rand, I always gave, instead of 50, I always gave 200. So it just depends on
100 to 200.
Yeah.
I know we gave 100 to a lot of some.
Yeah, we gave 100 to a lot of people, and most people tell us like 10 is it 10 US dollars or 10
No, it's
rand?
like $6. About $6 is 50.
Yeah, $6 is a good tip, but I never felt well with that. I felt like I'm gonna keep the same momentum in Africa as I do in United States. So I always gave an extra 200 rand for pretty much each time I tipped.
Right. And for our American people, all of our South African people know this is not something that I'm telling you guys. But for our American people, you may have heard the term load shedding. It wasn't a problem too much for us because we stayed in a resort.
Yeah.
So the lights will go out and flicker back in and the generator will kick back in. So it didn't affect us.
That's the most important thing. When you book in a hotel, you book in an Airbnb, the number one thing, the first thing you want to ask people is, do they have a generator? Because load shedding doesn't affect you if, the power goes out. It takes 5 minutes for the generator to kick in and you're back up to your Wi-Fi again.
If that 5 minutes.
Exactly. So we went in, we was kind of uninformed as far as like what load shedding is and how does it affect us. So make sure that you reach out, and the number one thing that you ask is like, do you guys have a generator? If they have a generator, load shedding is not even an issue.
Because the couple that we went on the tour with, they were in an Airbnb. And so their electricity and internet was out for maybe 4 hours at a time here and there while they were in it. But we didn't experience that at all. Like I said, it would just flicker in and out and we were good to go.
Yeah.
So if you hear the term load shedding, that's our take on load shedding. It affects other people differently, but for us, we didn't have too much of it.
We didn't have any issue.
Yeah. So I think that's about it, babe. We like almost
That's
over
about
an
it.
hour.
That's
So
about an hour.
hopefully it was entertaining enough to keep people on, because an hour is a pretty long video.
It's a pretty long time.
But we really wanted to kind of give it justice and let people understand truly what it meant for us to go to South Africa. And now that we've been, this is definitely a place that we want to go. And we want so many of
We're going back. We've already booked the trip. We're going back in a few months.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go back and we're going to Cape Town because for us, we actually had a great time in Johannesburg. I'm a beach guy. My wife is a beach lady, and we enjoy being on the beach. We enjoy like the climate, the weather, and so for us, Cape Town was the best fit for us.
Yeah, so we'll go directly to Cape Town next time. We won't do a direct flight to Johannesburg. There is one to Cape Town only on certain days, so Cape Town is where we're going. But just to know, so many of our American people who have never put South Africa on their list of places to go, I definitely recommend you put it on there. I don't care if it's 2024, 2025, whatever. Definitely plan this trip, because you will be a different person going there and seeing the history of South Africa. The
biggest discouragement for me was, and I feel bad about it now because I've actually done it, but I know a lot of people, they put limits on themselves and they say, I don't want to go this place because it takes longer to get there. Mm-hmm. I used to be that person. I used to be like, I don't want to go to XYZ because it's over a 4 or 5 hour minimum, which I thought I could sustain. Africa is a place where is a one in a lifetime experience. You will not get the experience anything like South Africa. I don't care where you go. Like my wife, we've been to Italy, we've been to France, we've been to all of these, Costa Rica, we've been to Jamaica, we've been to Hawaii, we've been to so many different exotic places, right? But for me, Africa was the first place that I've ever went and visited.
And felt so welcome. I mean, first class service from everyone. No attitudes anywhere. I'm sure it's like anywhere else. You might have an attitude, but I never experienced it. And I'm used to, like in Atlanta, or if listen, you go to Atlanta, you're gonna get an attitude no matter where you go. You go to Cancun,
different places, hit or miss. But in Africa, it was the first place I've ever visited in my 51 years of living that everybody was so, they embraced us, and they were so classy about how they went along with everything.
Yeah. So definitely put it on your list, guys. You will thank us later. You really will. So that's it for me. I think I'm good.
I'm good also.
Okay, guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
And thank you guys for going along with our experience. We
Yes.
do appreciate you guys. And we have so many more videos to come. And we appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.